Well, we're gonna get into it anyways.
We are.
That's all we got drinks.
We always do.
Generic, episode 8. Welcome back. If this is your first time, my name is Mike.
My name's Rob.
And like I literally just said, this is Generic. We are super excited today because we are going to be getting into some great topics of conversation. Have a good day today, Rob?
Yeah, pretty good. It was hump day, so that's always a plus.
True.
You know, making our way through the week, but can't complain too much.
Yeah,
What about you?
I could.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty shit day at work, but you know, that's besides the point.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to be positive. Yeah, I mean, we can just kind of get into it. You know how we always start. We do questions of the week.
Questions of the day.
Question of the day, sorry. Whatever.
Doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter. They're questions that we answer. Do you want to start with the first one, I guess? You could, I got it pulled up right there for you.
Yeah, let me take a look here. When will Briana make an appearance on Generic?
It's a good question.
It's a great question because I think that may be happening pretty soon.
Pretty soon.
Pretty soon. What do you think?
We typically answer the questions that are asked. And you know what? I think this is one we should answer immediately.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, she's funny. She's a little bit goofy, but don't let that fool you. She's a full-time oncology nurse, dog mom, and Daisy Award winner from the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, Briana Cummings.
Yeah!
Wow.
She's got to get to her seat.
Yeah. Wow, thank you guys
Briana.
for having me.
But here we are.
Hi.
Hi.
How we doing?
So good. I'm so nervous, but I'm really honored. I'm
It's-
excited to be here.
Yeah, that's how it always goes. You kind of got to break into it, you know. We all got our drinks.
Yes.
We all got our drinks. I
What
think
you drinking on real quick?
Little red wine.
Little red wine.
can't complain with that.
No.
Little red wine. Yep.
What you got, Mike?
I got a little rum and Coke.
Rum and Coke?
No, it's a new brand. It's like the new Move flavor of Coke. I don't know.
Move flavor?
I don't know. Anyways, what are you drinking?
Whatever you're drinking. Minus Coke.
Mine's Coke.
So, Captain Morgan, I think. Something like that.
Yeah, pretty good.
But yeah, how you feeling? I know you were
Really,
excited,
really-
maybe a little nervous.
Really excited, really nervous. So excited to be here.
Well, you should be nervous because I'm just kidding.
We have some tough questions for you today.
I'm excited to chat.
Well, that's good. Well, I think a great icebreaker, as you probably know, because I know you're an avid listener. We
Absolutely.
questions of the week.
Yes.
We already answered the first one.
Questions of the day.
Are you sure? I swear we did.
I think
Whatever.
it's day.
Whatever.
Our first dispute at this point.
I'm walking off. I'm just kidding. But I guess we can just kind of get started, and we can all just kind of go in a circle, as we do, and just take our turns answering. So we answered that one. I guess we'll get into the next one. I am literally looking at them. Podcast or music, if you had to choose.
I'll take that first.
For sure.
I would definitely have to say music. Podcasts are great. And I know
Yeah.
it's kind of funny coming from me because we're literally doing a podcast right now. But ultimately, if it came down to it,
Mm-hmm.
I think just music can make you feel like certain things that other things can't.
Yeah.
Like you've been to a festival with me, concerts, like you've been to concerts, like just
Right.
gives you goosebumps.
It
And I
does.
would hate to
Yeah.
never have that again.
Yeah.
What do you think, Brianna?
I think the same thing, music. I think when you hear a song, you know how it can take you back to that specific time. I think that's very powerful. And it can be used in every occasion, really. You
Yeah.
can
Weddings,
listen to-
birthdays,
yeah,
everything.
right?
Different genres, yeah.
Love music, but also love podcasts. But I think music is definitely very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I think I listen to podcasts more to be informed of stuff, just because it's
Yes.
an easy way to listen to things.
Absolutely.
But if you really need that information, you can find it elsewhere. Whereas music, it's each song is just so original. Like back at Charlotte when we used to put people in front of the speakers and play Tame Impala.
Yeah.
Like,
Tame Impala.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That was first time I ever did that was life changing.
Yeah, it is life changing. Would you
I'll
swim with
chase that
dolphins,
for-
right?
Swimming with dolphins, I was I think you were a cat, maybe you said.
A cat playing piano or something.
Yeah, I saw the music that night.
Yeah, you can't get that from a podcast. That being said, we have an album coming out. Another question. What would be one meal you would eat for the rest of your life?
You take that one.
I just love hibachi.
Mm-hmm.
I love hibachi.
Valid.
You got the meat, the vegetables, the rice, the
Everything.
sauce.
full loadout right there.
So
Everything you need.
pyramid, I think, right?
Yeah.
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 I love ketchup,
Yeah.
but yum yum sauce, like if it's good yum yum sauce or white sauce, whatever you want to call it, like
Yeah.
unbeatable.
Absolutely.
I think Yamato, that or the place by your mom's house, probably elite, the most elite.
I think Conky though, like overall,
Yeah,
That's more of a sit down.
Yeah, sit down. This is the experience.
they're on different tiers and levels.
Yeah, it depends what you're looking for.
But I agree with her. I was thinking wings maybe, but
Yeah.
I think hibachi, kind of like she said, has
Realistic,
your
yeah,
veggies
yeah.
to survive.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I could survive off of wings, but it's just not the best.
yeah.
So I think we all agree on hibachi.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say Chipotle bowl.
Close enough.
Yeah, same kind of ordeal.
Weirdo.
Chipotle is
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah, I just like I eat it so often. It's like it's got everything as well. Like same with hibachi.
Probably way healthier than hibachi.
Probably.
Maybe. Depends what you- but maybe like do like two more questions. But if you could take one part of your daily routine out, what would it be? But it can't be work.
Can't be work.
Mm.
I think, and I kind of heard like everyone talking about it, just like getting up and ready.
Yeah.
Because like you're getting up to do something you probably don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like is go to work. Luckily I work remote, but it's still like I don't want to clock in and do this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
And, like you guys work in the office, so it's like I gotta go drive. So I would take that out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the same. Getting it out of bed, I think, in the morning.
You're just so cozy.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, that's when you're the coziest. And then just getting ready. Yeah. I think the getting ready and, like, driving and
Yeah.
mentally preparing.
Mm.
Once you're there, it's like, I'm fine.
Yeah,
But,
get in the zone.
yeah. I would have to say that. What about you?
I would probably say it depends how I start my day. Like if I start the day with the gym and like I'm up early and have time to prepare.
Yeah.
If I wake up, crawl to bed, I need to leave immediately. I'm like stressed already. I don't have a good start. But if I have that time, it's better. I think like leaving work, like there's stress of like if I'm done for the day, but people have been getting on my ass about leaving a couple minutes before 5. So there's that, and then like I'm trying to leave because like I have things to do. Like I want to go see people or. If I'm trying to avoid traffic,
Right.
like that stress of just like getting out of there,
Yes,
like that drive home probably is like the routine I wish I could get rid of.
I didn't even think about like
Yeah.
after work because you're just tired
You just
and then you
wanna
gotta go
teleport.
commute.
Yeah, you just want to be home,
Right.
yeah, be
Right.
with your people.
And you got all that shit to do after work, like
Exactly.
gym or grocery shopping, whatever you got to do.
So
Yeah,
true.
you're never in a rush to get to work. Well, you are, but it's like I'd rather be home immediately after work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
Or work
agree.
immediately. But yeah,
Maybe one day we'll invent that somehow. What we
Yeah.
got? One more?
One more question. Yeah. If you could live anywhere in the world,
Ooh.
where would it be?
Do you have any that stand out?
Living anywhere, I think. I don't really.
I think, not that I've been there. I haven't been anywhere outside of the United States.
UK.
UK. But I would probably say just Australia. It's like the number one place that I've always wanted to go. So I guess I would say that like outdoors, you have the ocean, but you also got all like the wildlife in there. And I just feel like there's so much to do. Granted, there's sharks, spiders,
Most dangerous
snakes,
place in the world, I'm
everything.
pretty sure as well.
You know, but it seems like down under they're just having like fucking great
Solid
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're raised to like to be outside and
No one from there or people who have went have said they had a bad time.
true.
So
Yeah.
I would pick that.
So true. I think Switzerland would be a cool place too.
I've
Pretty.
seen some nice
Like,
pictures of Switzerland.
so pretty. I think my dream just to live like I could live in like Colorado in the mountains, just in the
Yeah.
mountains, like on a lake or something. That's like my ultimate dream, I think. But Switzerland, somewhere like that, would be really cool. I
Yeah.
love that vibe.
Mm-hmm.
What
Mine
about
would be
you?
Charleston, South Carolina.
Really?
Yeah.
I just
The
have
goal-
some kind of draw toward that. It just seems so pretty. The plan is to go there this summer, but it just
Yeah.
looks like it's not too far from home,
Mhm.
but it's also like by the beach, by the water.
Yeah, it's
I'm
beautiful
drawn to the
there.
water and the gold.
I think just having a body of water around you
Yeah,
makes you do so much
Everything
better.
better.
Mhm.
Healthier, everything.
Yeah, agreed. But that is questions of the day.
Day, week, whatever. We'll figure it out.
Anyhow,
We'll talk after the pod.
yeah.
But you're here, obviously. So how about you just tell us and then tell the listeners, like, who are you? Tell us about yourself.
Who is Briana Cummings?
Who is Briana Cummings?
All right, my name is Briana.
Where you start?
I'm from Colorado. That's home. I moved here though when I was in high school.
Mhm.
My dad got a job here, so he dragged me out here. No, but I like it here, though. And then I went to ECU, go Pirates, and did nursing there. I'm a nurse now, oncology with a background in cardiac. And I am a dog mom to Stella here, sitting right here next to me.
She's so cute.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, really summed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, a majority of your life, like, growing up, like, your roots are Colorado.
Roots are Colorado.
What-
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was gonna say, what city? Like,
Yeah, right outside of Denver. So I grew up in Thornton, which is like 30 minutes from downtown Denver.
oh, that's cool.
So that was really cool growing up there.
It's
Played
nice
soccer.
being far away, but not too far
Right.
from everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right. My mom still lives there, so it's cool. I get to go out there, visit. My brothers are there too. So yeah, that's always home for me though.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a Broncos fan by chance?
I am.
All right, thanks guys.
So,
Well, I don't know.
I'm honestly surprised we don't have any Panther things in here, but
Yeah,
it's-
we're the Panthers.
Hey, money's tight.
Okay.
But we'll get there.
you do you know where Aurora, Colorado is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
do
do, yeah.
a lot of shipments there. Some countertops, granite slabs.
Oh yeah.
So if you need some, hit him up.
Hit them up if you're around the area.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
He'll hook you
I
up.
know Aurora.
yeah, that's about all I know.
But on that, like, I know you said you're a nurse.
Yeah.
And there's probably people listening who have considered the healthcare field. So what I'm curious is, like, why did you choose nursing? I know everyone's story is a little bit different, but, like, what is yours?
My story. Oh, well, I think ever since I was little, I always wanted to be in the medical field. Like, I always wanted to help people. My grandpa, he's a retired OBGYN, so he delivered babies. All my aunts were nurses, but also the biggest thing, I think it was when I was like 10, and my middle brother, he was 6 at the time. And then I have another littlest brother who, he was just born. But my brother at that time was diagnosed with epilepsy. And I can kind of get into that, what epilepsy is, if no one's ever heard of epilepsy before. It's a seizure disorder, which is where your brain waves and the electrical activity in your brain just kind of goes haywire. And you have episodes where you just have like involuntary movements and break out into these huge seizures. But at the time I was 10, my parents, like, no one really knew what epilepsy was. And I remember there was this day, there was like this hot summer day, we were about to go to the pool, and I was just like talking to my brother, we're like messing around, but he was doing like these weird, just like there's something off about him.
A little different.
Right. And what it turned out to be what he was doing, he was talking to me and he would just kind of like drift off and then like come back. Drift off and come back, which are called like absence seizures. And I told my mom, like, there's something off, like there's something not right, we need to take him to the doctor. And she just kind of was like, oh no, he's fine.
Yeah, you wouldn't think.
Yeah. No, you wouldn't think.
Just a
Being,
kid.
like 7, yeah.
Right, yeah. He was so tiny, like he was just, goofing around. But there was one point right before we left where he just like fell on the floor. And I was like, okay, like I already had like a bad vibe, bad feeling.
Yeah.
So I told her, I was like literally freaking out. I was like, we need to take him to the doctor, but still she's like, no, it's okay.
Did she see that, or was it just you?
Yeah, she saw
Oh,
it, but
okay.
she didn't really think much of it. So yeah, we went to the pool though. I was still like had my eye on him, and nothing happened at the pool, thank God. He was, playing fine, but we came home and I got him, a little computer. I would always play the Disney Channel games, Kim Possible. And
Oh, yep.
yeah. He would sit next to me and like watch me play games. That was like our thing, was he would just watch me play, and we just messed around. And he broke out into this huge, like, it's called a grand mal seizure, where he was just shaking uncontrollably. His eyes rolled back into the back of his head, and I didn't know. I was like 10. I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Scary.
Terrifying, yeah.
Very scary. And my mom was upstairs blow drying her hair with my newborn brother. So I didn't want to leave him. So I was like screaming, and she couldn't hear me for the longest time. But eventually she came down and I had to call 911, and I thought he was literally going to die because I didn't know, again, what a seizure was. It's
you
crazy.
were what, 10?
Yeah, it's crazy seeing your family member or anyone having a seizure in that state. It's very scary. So yeah, long story short, he was diagnosed with epilepsy, like a really rare form. The doctors were like loading him up on all these medications. They were pretty much saying he was going to have it for the rest of his life. And pretty much turned into a zombie. Like at school, he would have to wear a helmet because if he had a seizure and he fell, he would, you know, hit his head. So he had to wear a helmet. He wouldn't remember anything. I think my grandma, when we saw her, she brought up a point where, you know, we got really involved in the Epilepsy Foundation, and I think he went to a Rockies game, baseball game, and he went out on the field, and they were, like, cheering and stuff, and he didn't remember anything.
That's crazy.
So that was really scary. And, again, the medicine that he was on would just, like, turn into, like, a complete zombie. So that, it's scary when he's, like, 6 years old, and he's acting in that way and still having seizures up to like 100 a day. So he would have those
100 a day.
Yeah, he would have like those small ones where he would just drift off,
space out.
And then they would come more frequent throughout the day, and then he would break out into like this really big one.
That's crazy. Those are like seizures still. Like those are considered like seizures.
Yeah,
where you drift off. That's crazy.
Right. Yeah. So there is so many different kinds that he would have. So he'd have like the little absent seizures one, then he would have, they're called petit mal, which is where he would kind of shake for a little bit, or
that's
he would
what
just
I
kind
think
of
we
drift
all know
off.
Of seizures.
But then the grand mal is like the huge one where he's out for like 5 minutes, could be like 5 to 10 minutes, and then they call it the post-ictal state. So they feel like they just ran like a marathon.
So you're exhausted.
Right.
Yeah, the heart rate's probably skyrocketed.
Right. And then they just are passed out. Like, you'll just pass out for hours after that.
Yeah.
You just let them sleep. But anyways, my mom got super involved. Long story short, she put him on this diet, which is why I'm, like, really into holistic stuff. Because the doctors, again, were just throwing pills at him.
Yeah, make them way different than his character is,
Right. So my mom really got involved. Like, what can we do? Like, she was researching like everything. We started the keto diet, so it's high fat, low carbs, no sugar. So we all did it, and she was it was tough. It's tough. It wasn't, you know, obviously when you're a kid you want to eat like sugar, candy. There's like even some fruits we couldn't eat, veggies we couldn't eat.
You see all your friends eating candy.
Yeah,
you're trying to go Chick-fil-A.
Right. So that was hard for him, but we saw the seizures like slowly decrease. And my grandma, she was really into, you know, the church at the time. She was Catholic, and we're Catholic, and so she got a St. Michael necklace, and she like got it blessed, and after like a year or so, he had a dream one night that angels came to touch his head in his dream, and ever since then he never had another seizure.
Just stopped out of nowhere.
Just stopped out of nowhere. Isn't that
That's
like
crazy?
It's,
While
it's
he was
insane.
doing like the keto, like,
right?
So he was like, was he still taking the medication?
He was slowly coming off of it.
Yeah, trying to teeter off it.
Right. They were slowly starting to like taper off of it.
That's crazy.
They were decreasing. We saw like a significant change just in the diet.
Yeah.
Because your brain loves that, like all the high fats and stuff.
Yeah.
So we saw a decrease in that, and literally, it's a miracle, really, because we still like follow a lot of kids, you know, my brother's age who got it.
Yeah.
And they've either like have so much brain damage now, and it's really sad. Or a lot of them like pass away in their sleep, like the one Disney star.
Yeah.
He passed away in his sleep.
Cameron Boyce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
really
like,
crazy.
The medication that he was on, it was like it wasn't to like take away his epilepsy or anything. It was just like to help prevent the seizures from happening.
Right.
So they were just like, okay, we can like try this stuff. So it was really just basically a negative effect because it changed.
It's kind of like ours. They're just trying to figure out what's going to work, what doesn't work.
And a lot of them are sedating. So he was in first grade, and he would just like fall asleep and
supposed to be a ball of energy at that age.
Right. Yeah. And he would. Yeah. It was just really sad. He just was literally no emotion.
Yeah.
Not even there. But yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. Like, no one can explain what happened.
Outside forces.
It's a very spiritual thing.
Which I am very tricky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about just for like for
Yes.
education purpose for seizures. I've always thought you're supposed to like let them seize and then they'll.
Yes.
Is
That's
that
what I was trained to do.
That's
yeah.
true. That's fine.
Yes.
Just a little PSA.
Absolutely.
Right?
So the biggest thing is protecting their head.
Mm-hmm.
If they're around like any surfaces, any
That
hard
makes sense.
surfaces, make sure you put them in a safe place. Lay them onto their left side because sometimes they can like aspirate, which means if they vomit or something, excretions come out, that can harm them. Right. So just laying them on their side, just let them.
Yeah.
Do it. But if it happens, some people have seizures for like up to 20 minutes, and at that point, it's scary.
Yeah. Does it is besides like the possible effects of like them hurting themselves while they're like seizing?
Mm-hmm.
Is there like effects that the seizing does like neurologically? Like does it like mess up like anything in your brain like while you're seizing? Like
yeah, absolutely. I think I think really, I mean, over time you can see these kids.
Yeah.
All the the waves and the electrical activity in the brain just slowly, it just
crazy.
Completely can destroy cognitively, like emotionally, everything.
Yeah.
My brother now, he's great. He's in college, doing great. But again, a lot of people now, like there's so much damage. Plus, you don't get a lot of oxygenation while you're seizing.
That makes sense, yeah.
So lack of oxygen to your brain also causes a lot of issues too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's in college now?
Yes, he's in college now, doing great.
Like ever since like that like one moment, like the dream and everything, the keto diet, he's been chilling.
He's been chilling.
Is he still on the keto diet?
He's not.
He's not? I mean honestly, good for him. If he was able to like hit remission and then be okay, like why not? That's kinda how we are with UC. It's like you can eat different things that we want to eat now. Mm-hmm. Very interesting. Yeah,
it's very interesting. I think we started to kind of stay with the keto diet for a while because we were scared to like
if that's working,
not. But after a while, we experimented slowly and he was fine. So he's been fine ever since, which is crazy.
Good for him. What was his name?
Michael.
Shout out Michael.
Hey,
shout out Michael.
Did I say Michael and everything? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Play role for
Michael.
sure.
But
yeah, thanks for sharing that. What has your experience been like though in like the nursing field? I know especially during COVID, that's kind of when you started. I know you had your internships and all that. Or what do they call it? Is it internship?
It's called an externship, I guess. Yeah.
So that was like your first real taste. Kind of starting from there to like now, what has your experience been like doing all that fun stuff?
I started out like you said, as an extern, which is pretty much your CNA. So you're a nursing assistant, but you get paired with a nurse. And I got paired up with the best person ever. And she taught me so much. I was on a med-surg floor, so med-surg was pretty much everything. You saw everything. And I never really got that much exposure in nursing school to being in a hospital. Like you do with clinicals, but I think working the 12 hours with a specific nurse and seeing that hands-on, that helped me so much.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But you just see a lot. I mean, it's a lot of, old people, diabetes, and, with different, infections and things like that, you see a lot. But that, it really exposed me to a lot. I didn't want to really do that specialty. So when I graduated nursing school, I wanted to be in something that a lot of people can go through. The leading causes of death in the United States are cardiovascular disease and cancer. So I decided to go into a cardiovascular surgical unit, which is post-op open heart surgeries, different kinds of heart procedures like catheterizations, and they maybe put a stent in your heart, pacemakers, vascular. So I didn't really like the vascular part of it, but you saw a lot. I saw an open heart surgery, and that was really cool, and I took care of that same patient
That's crazy.
a few weeks later, so that was really cool. I was like, hey, I saw your heart,
It's just crazy, we go to work on a computer, typing away, calling people, and you're out here surgeries, hearts, people are freaking out, I don't even know.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it. No.
It's pretty high stress. I think in the beginning it was really, really fun. I loved it. And then I started working nights. which I liked nights for a long time, but I think mentally it takes a toll on you. It's just not...
Yeah.
Well, you said it messes with your levels too, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're eating,
Your
when you can sleep, it
hormones.
just messes
Yes.
up every
Yeah.
other aspect.
Yeah.
I believe it there.
Yeah, absolutely. Emotionally, yeah, mentally, and yeah, physically, like the hormones and stuff. It was just not good for me overall, and I think after COVID, a lot of people got burnt out,
Definitely.
and so
Makes
that
sense.
took a toll. Like you could do anything or everything you wanted for a patient, but there were certain times where providers, it was hard for them to have like the same care. I think when you go through like so much trauma, like the healthcare providers do, and doctors are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
There's amazing providers out there, but some of them, I realized, just weren't really helpful. Management wasn't really helpful.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, after nights, I just wanted some change, wanted some balance, because it was just so inconsistent. I'd be working 3 days and then have 1 day off, or like have a stretch of like a week. It was.
And you want to
really...
go hang out with friends and
Yeah,
stuff too. So.
yeah. I was
Yeah.
working a lot of weekends and nights, so I was young, and I was like, I want to change. And oncology, I feel like we all know someone who's, had cancer, or I just wanted to know more about it. So there's a new cancer center that opened, and now I'm doing outpatient infusions
Mm-hmm.
at that oncology center, and it's really cool. I like it. a
And
lot.
outpatient means not overnight,
Yes.
1 day in and out.
Yeah, so it's Monday through Friday, weekends and holidays off, 8 to 4 kind of thing. A lot more balance and a lot more,
Yeah.
life
Consistent,
balance.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Work-life balance was really important.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Did
Well,
you
I
have
think-
to...
oh.
sorry.
Oh.
Go ahead, go ahead.
What I was gonna say, that I think it's like tough too, like with COVID, that changes like the world in general.
Yeah.
But I think it's tough, like you do all this, like going to school. I went to school with the full expectation of like, I'm gonna spend 40 hours a week in the office till I'm 65.
Yeah.
Kind of like going to nursing, like you prepared for that. But I think like seeing the world change to more like digital remote work, like
Right.
being a nurse, it's got to be tough seeing like people work from home, kind of like you. Like it'd be so much more convenient.
Yeah.
But it's like,
yeah.
You have to be hands-on with that kind of thing.
Yeah, I definitely envy the people that work from home. And
But
kinda-
Do you
Were you
enjoy
just-
like
were you just trying to
with the
flex?
patients? No, I'm just saying like that's how COVID changed the
Yeah.
world. Like has
No.
that like made you think of like, why did I choose nursing? I could have been doing this and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes, yes, I do think. I think there's good and bad days, and I don't really have a lot of time to like self-reflect. So when I have a bad day, I'm like, God, I immediately go into like a negative headspace, which is probably not good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about all the other stuff I could probably be doing, but then I have good days where I actually like really help people, and they tell me like, you are telling me all these amazing things,
Yeah.
Rewarding.
Yeah, it's really
Somebody's
rewarding.
life.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Yeah, I think at the end of it all, I'm glad I did nursing. I think I'm really like meant to like help people, because when I do think about working from home, I don't think I would feel as fulfilled.
It's all about finding balance, like we say.
Yeah, find balance.
What's
Yeah.
gonna work for you? We're young.
Yeah, and
So many options.
Yeah, like
Right.
technology, the way it's advancing, there may be a way that you can like help from
Yeah.
home.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've always seen like just a couple years ago, like a guy performed like a surgery, or like they were testing out
Oh,
a
yeah.
surgery. Like he was like in California, and it was a surgery in like Arkansas or something, where he was like at a
That's so
computer
crazy.
and like
Yeah.
it was a robot doing the thing. It's just like the fact that like that's possible, like
Right.
anything's possible with that kind of
I
stuff.
wonder what
So,
the waiver was for that.
yeah, for real.
Right.
Imagine an open heart surgery from somebody like 1,000 miles away.
I don't think I would approve that for myself personally.
No.
No, it is so crazy, all the possibilities.
Mhm.
in
People are smart.
technology.
Was it really hard to like get into nursing school? Like, obviously, it's pretty challenging.
Yeah, I actually did not get in my first time applying.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did not get in.
Yeah.
There was like certain points that you had to, rack up, where like your GPA, and you have to pass like this. It's called the HESI. You had to pass that test. Yeah, and then, what else? It was a point system, and then you fall into like a certain category. So I was like borderline I was like, I could or I couldn't, and they only let a certain amount of students in. So did not make it the first time, and then I kind of just used that semester to just kind of chill. I tutored.
Yeah,
and
a little mental break, probably.
Yeah, actually, I loved it. I was still, in school, but I was just chilling, really. Went to the gym, tutored, did some online random courses. Yeah. But then I got in the second time, so that was really exciting. So yeah, it's tough. ECU was a tough.
ECU especially.
Yeah, and I didn't even really have a backup. I'm like, well, if I don't get in, I'll just figure it out. But I was really hoping.
You have to commit to that.
Yeah.
Samantha showed me a TikTok literally yesterday where it was this nurse who she's in school to be a nurse, and she was explaining how she prepares for a test, and she's like, you have been taught this, so it's already in your brain. They're not going to test you on anything you haven't learned, which is a positive thing. She's a very positive thinker, this TikTok person.
Yeah.
But she was like, they make it really hard because they have to be you are affecting people's lives, somebody's loved one, their husband, their wife.
100%.
So you have to be qualified. They can't just let anybody in. So the fact that you were able to, is very impressive. So
thank you.
It's nursing is no joke. Like the TikTok lady said, you're affecting people's lives, so you have to be qualified. So they make it hard for a reason. So.
Yeah, they definitely do make it hard for a reason. I think.
Final was NCLEX, right?
Oh God, yeah.
I know that traumatizes you.
What is that?
I was shaking.
It's the final test,
yeah.
To
no
get
going back.
registered, right?
You graduate and then you're studying. I studied every single day, all day for a month straight.
I only hear people who do that are nurses, or nursing school. Us, we study every now and then. But the only people I ever hear that are pulling all nighters are people in nursing school.
We would study an hour before the test. And all right,
I get a 70
solid.
Yeah, yeah. I think I had a test in an exam every single week, sometimes multiple. So every single week.
I think I would cry.
Yeah, on top of clinicals, and then it's a lot of busy work. But it was. I feel like it was easier than actually getting into nursing school, because once you're in, it's you're committed. You're grinding,
That makes sense.
But yeah.
What were some of the or currently,
I'm so sorry.
or overall struggles? If you had to maybe say 2 or 3, what's the main struggles of being a nurse?
Gosh.
Feces, maybe?
Yeah.
That's one, for sure.
That was tough. Working in the hospital was just, I think you are exposed to a lot of things, so it's scary. I remember first being exposed to COVID when it was a thing.
Scary.
And then I was living with my dad, and I was terrified. I didn't tell him. that I was exposed to COVID.
You're whispering. Sorry. He's not here.
We'll tell him about it down there.
I didn't tell him that I was exposed because I was terrified. So that's, you're exposed to crazy things MRSA, C. diff, more COVID. I had so many COVID patients, but you just, after a while, you become so numb to it. Yeah. It's I don't even care about putting on PPE anymore. I'm just gonna go in here, it's whatever. Yeah. So you're exposed to so many things, obviously cleaning people, but again, that becomes it becomes satisfying to make someone feel clean. I can never have someone be dirty or sit in their own feces.
Some people are just literally helpless.
Yeah. You would not believe the people that just come in and you're I cannot believe you were in this rehab facility, for example, and you were treated like this. I had one patient come in to a wound center, and I was taking off his shoes, and he just had roaches coming out of his shoes, crawling on the walls. And I had to step out after I was,
Oh, yeah.
To collect myself.
From that position.
I think it just frustrated me more that they, people like that are in that condition.
And it's obvious. They're that bad off.
I think that's the saddest part of it all, and seeing that mentally, and also when you're trying to do everything you can for someone or the patient, and just nothing. It feels like nothing you do sometimes really makes
you
a
never
difference.
know what or who you're going to get, whereas we can kind of expect day to day people are going to deal with.
Yeah, I can just email them.
Yeah,
this
definitely.
coming email.
That's crazy, the COVID thing though. I didn't imagine being I guess you were a nurse, but something that like a disease just pops up out of nowhere where hundreds of and like people are coming into like your place of work saying like I have this or I think I have this, and like people like probably like half the people are probably like overreacting in a sense, like not like obviously you don't know, but like but you're being exposed to it. And you have the same amount of information as they do. Like, you're just, like, you're dealing with the same problem as the news is putting out as they are. So, like, but you are the one that has to, like, help them. So it's kind of stressful, scary.
Yeah, and at that time when it first happened, like, we would have to use the same masks and stuff, too, for, like, a week straight. Whereas now, like, obviously I get a new one every day. But imagine that. Like,
because, like, supply chain?
Yeah. We would not have the supplies. But it was just so unsafe. And that just kind of showed how much the system... like lacked.
I remember seeing pictures of people, like nurses would post like their pictures of like after like a day of work or like working like a 12-hour shift, like all lines, their faces were all messed up because of like the masks and stuff.
Well, I remember Fastenal, like we would get Fastenal's like construction wholesaler where we had PPE, but like we would get truckloads of masks and they started dying down. But like when we would get truckloads in, it was like gold. People would, like, not even construction workers or, like, they would come in and be like, we heard you have masks. And, like, at that point, I was kind of like, I mean, if you want to pay $100, like, we were charging, like, $100 a box.
That's how,
I felt bad, but it's like, I mean.
This semester, like, I think the semester after you graduated and I was still working there, like, that's where Kyle, our sales manager, like, the store manager, he got, like.
Oh, yeah.
We became the highest district in sales because he got, he sold all like PPE to the school system, Charlotte Mecklenburg school system there, which is like all the schools, like, and they all needed masks, like all the kids needed masks. There's like thousands of like masks we would like ship over to them. Excuse me. I remember like 2 or 3 times like a month or something we would have to stack up like the pallets in the back of the truck, and like 3 trucks we would all go to like their warehouse, like just masks and like PPE, just because like they're like we need masks. But it's crazy, like now it's like they dropped all that money, and like now they're like, okay, we don't need masks anymore. But it's crazy, like you have to like be precautionary because you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we had no idea what COVID was, which is crazy.
Yeah, it was insane.
And you were front line.
Shout out front line.
Front line. Thank you for your service. Do you have any questions? I have another one.
What you got?
Just
you asked me the question. That one.
I mean, what I think is like what I'm curious about, knowing what you know now and having your experience that you have now, would you change careers and do something different, or do you think with the knowledge you have now you would still pursue nursing or some sort of medical profession? You can answer honestly. We're not going to shame you either way. I'm just curious.
I don't know. I think I would never go through nursing school again. I would never go through the stress that I, endured. I would never do that again. I'm glad I'm a nurse now. Like, I'm glad I have that job security.
True. And,
I can have a lot of different options. But sometimes, yes, I do think. But I don't even know what I would do, really. Yeah. I always love to help people.
Yeah, that's what you said earlier, like that fulfillment you would get,
Yeah.
So
it's easy when you're in a role, and then you can compare, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I should have done that. But it's like you said, if you didn't know,
and
you don't know what you would have done.
Half the time you're comparing it to, like, people who are successful in that position. So you're like, oh, I wish I had that. But, like, you got to, like, start from somewhere.
We're 25, 24, like, we're all 25,
Yeah.
Wait.
19, bro.
19. It's kind of crazy, knowing what you know. You might do, you might not.
Yeah, I think it's just about finding, like, what you love. It's like your work doesn't really feel like a job, Yeah. So I don't know if I found that yet, but I'm getting there.
Yeah. Well, you do have a certification that not a whole lot of people have, so it's very special to have. You can branch out within there, which is pretty cool.
Sure,
like,
absolutely.
not like a lot of people, like, we could not. Like, so.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, matter of fact, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to school.
I think that kind of, like, can be something, because we forgot to talk about it at the beginning of the episode. We did a poll, which was, what would you rather have? Love.
Oh, yeah. Holy shit.
So, love, health, or wealth.
This is a great
job, Robert. You being in, like, medical fields and whatnot. What I thought was curious about our statistics, what is it?
44, 44, 12.
So love
Damn.
and health were tied, and then 12 was
yeah.
wealth.
Yeah.
But I think it's crazy, and I was talking before the episode, what do we chase every day? Why do we go to work? Money, right? That's what we want. But it's like when it comes down to the choice, we all chose love and health for the most part. I don't know the two people who did it, but not judging. But it's just kind of crazy, like when it comes
They're
down...
being the realist. Just kidding.
I mean, yeah, but like when it comes down to it, we want something that's not necessarily like an object, you know?
Yeah, you want.
I just found that super interesting.
Yeah.
That people wanted something else besides money. The world revolves around money.
Yeah. When I was looking at it, I was like, because we didn't like just talk about it before we put the poll up, like the day before. We're talking about like experience or something. I feel like we had a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my dream or something. I don't know.
Might
But like looking at it, you're like, dang, okay. The best feeling each week is when you get paid. Like, you strive for that. Like, financially, like, you know.
I don't work for fun.
Right.
Yeah, I don't work for fun. You're spending so much time a week
yeah.
working, so the fulfillment you get is like, you work all week and you get paid, and that's the fulfillment for that. But like, you're constantly like in love, like, you know, you have a relationship, and you're constantly like trying to be healthy. So it's like those things kind of stay consistent. You know, sometimes there's like ups and downs and stuff, but like you're always consistently and comfortable in those things. Unless, like, you know, we have a flare-up or something, whatever. Yeah. But wealth is, like, you don't, like, it kind of stands out a little bit more, but, like, you don't value it as much when you're looking at love and health. Correct. So it's like, I don't know. It's very, very, I personally, if we're going to get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
I personally, I can't remember if I voted or not, but I was going to say love.
Me too.
Because, you know, relationships and everything, like, I don't know. You want everyone. When I looked at health, I was like, I'm not even thinking about myself. I'm thinking about my loved ones.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, you know, that feeling of love and that feeling of like just caring and like having those people. It's like, if I'm just like a healthy human being, but I'm alone, like what does that really mean? And like if I'm rich, but I'm alone and not happy, what does that mean?
Damn.
So
right.
We're about to start crying on a podcast.
I'm sorry.
I think love is just like a feeling that's just undescribable, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Money.
Crazy.
I'm a firm believer money can buy happiness.
Yeah. Can't buy love.
But it can't buy love. You know what I mean? Like, real, true love is just something that it's priceless. Yeah.
I know.
Exactly. What'd you vote? Health?
I think I was torn because what I was thinking of is I think all you...
Try explaining it.
I think just when you do feel like sick, yes, like the supportive loved ones is amazing, but all you want to do in that moment is just feel better, you know? And having that... I don't know, I think...
Well, I think you see it every day. Like sick people, so you know they are like, I wish I could be fine.
That's probably on my mind. But I was really torn. Because I think love, obviously, is everything. So yeah, I don't know. I think that was a hard one.
It's very interesting.
But it shows that money, like, is not everything at all.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
So I want to use that money for experiences.
Right.
Like with the people I want to be with.
Right.
But the health is like...
You gotta be healthy.
You gotta be healthy.
Exactly.
If you want to be in a position to be loved and love others, you have to be healthy. So we just
I know, it's hard.
But that's a good
one.
Transition into stuff, I think.
Yeah, so like on that, like health, love, everything. I know you're super big on like holistic lifestyles and stuff like that, and like I think everyone should take a look into that. And Mike watched like half of it, I believe, Heal documentary.
Yeah, a little more than like 45 minutes.
Yeah, on Amazon. Would definitely recommend everyone kind of look or review it. Some very interesting stuff in there. But I wanted to hear like your point, like why are you so interested in like holistic lifestyles versus like just pursuing like pharmaceuticals, medicine that has been made to help people. What kind of brought you to that?
Yeah, well, I think when I started nursing school and I was, started giving like meds to all the patients, I realized I was just like a med passer. Like I was literally, all that I was doing like in my clinicals was just passing meds. And some people would take up to like 30 pills a day. Like not even, in just one sitting. And then some of them are to just counteract the effects of another. So like, for example, I'm in pain. I'm in pain because I'm not getting up to exercise, for example. I'm not eating right.
Yeah.
Those are some things that you can control. But then when you take those pain meds, like, you're constipated. So I'm taking, like, 3 different pills to help me go to the bathroom. So it's just, like...
Which other problem? No,
and now I'm saying... right. So I'm saying that, like...
Great.
Pills are great. Like, medication is amazing.
Yeah.
However, I think sometimes when we go to the doctor, for example, like, I remember going, seeing a therapist one time, and I was endorsing, I was super anxious, and she was like, all right, let's get you on a pill. And I'm like, okay, well.
Yeah.
And they don't really look at the whole person. I think looking at the whole person, like, okay, like, let's check, like, if you're getting enough vitamins, if you're exercising, going outside, like, I think we should look at that first. So then,
like, is there a deficiency?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you deficient in something? Are you lacking something? What are you putting into your body? Because whatever your gut health is, it connects to your brain. Your brain produces those hormones. So Anna, shout out Anna.
Shout out Anna.
She introduced me to the Heal documentary because I would like rant to her all the time, like, I'm literally just giving these patients so many pills, and, like, it sucks.
Synthetic medication.
Yeah, and
Lab
a lot
made.
of them, right, and a lot of them are helping them long term. They're, prolonging their life, which is amazing, but there's so many other things that I think the patients could be doing, or we could be doing, to educate them. And that's what I like to try and do as a nurse, is advocate and educate people. Like, hey, maybe, like, let's not drink, like, this or eat this.
Liquor.
Try to, like, cut out with that.
I say all that.
Yeah. Like, if you have liver cancer, maybe just stop and don't drink the alcohol.
Yeah.
Things like that. But no. But things like that. So I think that's when I watched that, and it really shows how your mind and your mental is so important, because it produces hormones and we're in, like you said, constant, like, fight or flight response, like, all the time. And you're producing the cortisol, and that cortisol is really,
you're
like,
living off
poison.
cortisol.
It's literally poison sometimes.
Well, what I found interesting, and, like, I have a lot to say kind of on everything you said. One, like, if you go to the doctor, Briana, taught me to advocate for yourself.
Yes.
I used to just kind of be like, oh, the doctor said, the doctor said, the doctor said. You taught me to, like, okay, I'm starting this medication. What are the side effects? What are my other options? What are, long-term effects? How much is this going to cost? Or is this the best? Like, just ask those deep questions, because a lot of times, we talked about it in another episode, they come in, I'm going to start you on Rinvoq. I'll see you in 6 months. It's like, what is Rinvoq? How does it work? What's the action of the medicine? Would go a long way. Because I feel like a lot of people, I would always leave the doctor kind of like, oh, they're starting me on this, but I have no idea how it works, or what am I even inserting into my body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in the Heal documentary, I forget his name, but he said it's funny how someone wears a white coat. You immediately give all your power to them because they know best.
They got a plaque on the wall.
You give all your power away. They have a plaque on the wall. And he's had people come to him, and he's like, trust medical advice. End of the day, like, medical advice is what you should follow.
100%.
But he put on a white coat for his clients because he's more of a holistic doctor. And he's like, all right, I have a white coat on, so I guess you're going to listen to me. But he just said, like, don't necessarily just give all your power away to these people.
Yeah.
One who might be getting paid, who knows, like, for pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Right.
But, like,
That's a whole nother
advocate
conspiracy.
for yourself, And like you said, the
Definitely.
mind, the gut. I feel like we've studied so much about the physical body, but there's energies around us and all that stuff that, like, we haven't studied. We like to study things we can actually see.
Yeah.
That's why, like, theories, going off on, like, a tangent, like, we base everything off of what we know and can physically see. But who knows what the mind's capable of, you know what I mean?
Right.
And the Heal documentary is like, the body's probably more capable of healing than we can imagine. In, like, autoimmune diseases, you don't know the cause, which is what we have. We don't know the cause. There's always a cause and effect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's definitely a cause, but they just haven't found it. But, like, why not try these holistic things
Right.
besides pumping synthetic medication into you.
Yeah.
And it kind of opened my eyes, like, wow, like, I've just been doing this because a doctor told me to do it.
Right.
You know, advocate for yourself.
It's definitely something to think about. I'm not discrediting any type of amazing doctor or provider out there. Definitely, like, they know, again, like what Sam said, I think she said it perfectly. They were gifted that incredible knowledge. Like, I can never be a doctor. The stress of being a doctor is insane. They're amazing people for what they do, and they know so much. So always, listen to what your doctor says, but also don't be afraid to be like, hey, what can I do? Instead of like, yeah, let's take this pill, for this reason. What can I do? Like, what do you recommend that I can do? Like, in my diet, can I change my diet somehow? Can I do something for my mental health? Things like that to
help you out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sorry, I was texting Mike telling him to pull up a picture that the Heal documentary showed. So the story behind this, I believe it was 250 patients in a study that she was taking data like, yes, you're taking medication, but what other lifestyle changes did they make?
Yeah.
And she found like 75 different things, but she found like constants the core in her data, and some like things that stood out to me. And it's like, number one, I keep hearing it from people in that documentary and everyone around me. Number one was radically changing your diet, because all the processed foods we're putting into our body, everything, you might be feeding these diseases, you might be causing like these diseases. So just radically changing what you're eating, it's super hard. We've tried gluten free, but it's just
I
so
just
hard.
had wings, so I'm not saying that that's not okay, but
it's just crazy. Like, there's a 9, 10 whatever item list, like taking control of your health, following your intuition, that's mind. You know what I mean? Using herbs and supplements, releasing suppressed emotions, increasing positive emotions, just thinking positive, embracing social support, deepening your spiritual connection, and have a strong reason for living. It's funny that half of those, 50%, is just in your mind.
Yeah.
Just positive thinking, because again, you're constantly in fight or flight, you're stressed, but maybe just like...
It's in your control.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
But
just
like,
crazy.
it's so like, I was just venting to Samantha on the phone the other day about like this, because like I was like, it's all so true, and like all these, they're like, when you read these, you're like, oh, it's obvious. Like, these are just like, seem so simple and like are obvious solutions. Like, obviously changing my diet, but it's like, okay, it's obvious, but like, am I actually
We're
doing
negative
that?
sometimes.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's so obvious to be like, okay, yeah, just think positively, but like, am I really actually thinking positively all the time, like consistently enough? Because I think like a holistic lifestyle is like, compared to like just getting drugs like over the counter kind of thing, it's like those provide like usually immediate like effectiveness. So it's like, oh, this fixes my problem super easily, so I'm just gonna do this.
They block it.
Exactly.
They don't fix it.
Exactly.
Correct.
So it's like, I'm feeling better because it's like a holistic lifestyle. It's like, it's a lifestyle change. And like this kind of stuff, like you have to do consistently, in like, it could be months, it could be years until like, you see a change. So like, that's probably why it's like not as popular.
Right.
So it's like, it's a challenging thing. It seems so easy, but it's like, you have to actually do it all to like, for it to be effective, which I think is like a really challenging part.
They said too, like in the documentary, like meditation is like huge. But a lot of people, you think you're relaxing, like even on vacation, you think you're relaxing.
Yeah.
But low key, like internally or behind, your mind is still like, work. What do I do when I get back from vacation? Like just being home after work. Oh, I gotta make 20 calls tomorrow. Like, you're not truly relaxing, so you're just pumping cortisol into your body, and it's just like crazy. And I guarantee you that's like stress. All I kept hearing in there is diet and stress is the number one cause of like 99% of things.
And I know like, I'm looking like, the job I'm in now is like really high stress because like it's 24/7 basically. Yeah. And I know like, I don't care if they're fucking listening or not. But like, when I do leave this position, I'm like, in like 5 years from now, I'm be like, why the fuck was I there for 2-ish years? Like, those are like the most stressful. Like, obviously, you gotta be responsible, you gotta work, but like, I can just tell, like, a position I get out of, like, knowing what I know now about like work and like who I want to be around and stuff like that, it's like, I'm gonna look back at this like as probably like the most like unhealthy mentally like position I've ever been in my life, probably.
Yeah.
As of right now.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like that, but definitely.
That's all stuff to think about, though, you know?
It is.
And what I was going to ask you is, like, being on the front lines, I guess you should say. Like,
It's true.
seeing, like, pharmaceuticals, and doctors don't necessarily, like, talk about holistic options.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is, like, the insurance. Like, our insurance sometimes covers, but most of the time covers, like, these pharmaceuticals because it's all fucking corporate.
Yeah.
Money scam. End of the day, like, these people are in it for the money, not your health. Like, do you think it would make a huge difference if, like, holistic doctors were covered by insurance? It should be allowed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, more mainstream.
Like, it should be up to you, the care that you want to give yourself. You're paying them every month. You should be able to make that informed decision
Oh, yeah.
to what you think.
Yeah, I think they definitely should be, because I think they more focus on the person as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas sometimes, providers that you go to, they are focusing on the symptoms that
The disease.
are presented, or the disease itself, where they're just treating the disease.
Mm-hmm.
Or, and then with that, like, comes so many other issues. For example, anxiety, you can't sleep, you can't eat, constipation, diarrhea. Like, I have to ask all these toxicities to people before, they come in and get treated. And a lot of people, the main things are just like nausea, constipation, they can't sleep, things like that. So, and then we prescribe medications for all of that. So they're taking all these pills. Whereas instead of, what are your sleeping habits like? Like, do you go to sleep watching TV before bed, like on your phone? Maybe try reading, or maybe try meditation. Just little things like that. Or yes, again, pills may help you, I think, and a lot of the times they can. But I think it would also help to have another side where,
Yep.
They're investigating your habits, everything that you're doing, deficiencies, like you said, in like vitamins and, minerals that you really need. And sometimes it's really simple of just like what you're putting into your body and then what your daily habits are. And I think that should really be studied more.
Well, I think it's crazy too, and we can all agree, is like the positivity and like the mindset.
Yes.
Literally the first day this year where it was like 70, I walked outside and like people say, I feel like I popped a freaking Molly. Like, I just felt so good. I was ready to go kill my day, Yeah. So it's crazy how like the vitamin D, I think the sun is.
Correct.
It's just, it can change your whole mindset, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, that's just crazy to me. Not medication made me feel good, but just being outside made me feel good. And like these vitamins and supplements, you can see what you need as a human. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I don't have that. I don't have that. That could be the reason I have a lot of issues, you know what I mean?
Exercising, releasing all those good hormones.
Yeah, just being positive.
Yeah, positivity is everything.
Yeah, Samantha told me when she like had like, I think it was her kidney surgery, her transplant, where she was like, her healing like was like phenomenally quick, like her recovery. Like the doctor was like, how the heck did you just like, how are you good now? Just but she was just like not stressed. She was just like happy, like like fortunate to like be in the position she is in, recovering and everything. So like mind over matter. It's like, it's such a huge thing.
100%.
Like, you just take it for granted sometimes, where it's like, am I really like focusing on the positives and the negatives? And I feel like if people did that more often, I'm a hypocrite because I'm literally saying something I don't do. But it's like, it can go a long ways if you consistently do that.
Yeah, and that's what I told my aunt, like, when she was battling skin cancer and breast cancer. It's so easy to get down on yourself. I've had days where I'm like, why did I get UC? Like, what did I ever do?
Yeah, like what?
But that's negative thinking, and like, she was in such a negative mindset as well, but also like, fight it. You can fight it, like, stay strong. I know it's easier said than done, but like, even prayer was a big thing, right?
Yes.
Whether you're religious or not.
Yeah.
Like, prayer can go along
Except
with
for
your
the person
brother.
I talk to.
Believe what you want to believe. We're not like promoting anything.
Miracles do happen.
No,
Well, you have a doctor who tells you about stuff, right?
Yeah.
Every day?
Every Sunday, there's these two doctors who are so amazing, and they share their experiences over their 40-year careers of different patient cases that they've had where literally they have like 6 different types of cancer throughout their whole body, things like that, where, and then they've gone through so much, you know, where there was multiple times they could have died, and somehow, no explanation, these miracles do happen where they're suddenly in remission. And he said sometimes, like, he cannot explain what happened. Like, how did you have like 6 cancers throughout your whole body and now you're just fine. With my brother too, like, I still can't believe to this day that happened. But yeah, prayer, I think it's like scientifically proven. Like, you, like, feeling vibes and energy is such a thing. Like, we
need to study
emitting
it
at least like 5 feet of energy between us right now.
Like we said, at a party, you walk in, vibes are off. You walk into a work, vibes are off. Like, you physically feel it.
Yeah.
It's weird how it works.
Right.
It's like I said, they study the physical stuff that you can see and you can prove. But like, there needs to be some sort of like study on what the hell's happening that we can't see. It's just interesting stuff. That's why the documentary is like super cool, because it like kind of opens up a new perspective into what else could be out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I feel like it should be so like taboo to like talk about that kind of stuff.
Oh, 100%.
And, like, even if you had talked to me about it, probably like in high school or something, I'd be like, what are you talking about?
Weirdo.
Yeah. But like now it's like, first of all, like, living that lifestyle is way cheaper than dropping bags of money on like these pills and stuff. So
that's
like,
what sucks.
That's
It's expensive.
Yeah, exactly, expensive. But like, just like a whole different lifestyle change, like stuff like that. Like, I try to like incorporate it sometimes, but like it's really about being consistent with those kind of stuff.
It is. You have to fully commit. I feel like.
And you know, sometimes it's just hard to.
Right.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Like with work, school, like your schedule just can't.
Yeah, exactly. Usually you don't have the time.
No one's perfect at all, but it's definitely something.
Start somewhere. You don't have to do it all at once.
It's about balance.
Make small. It's about
balance.
We need to make a T-shirt at
something
this point.
to consider for sure. On top of all the, you know, going to the doctor and things like that. Definitely things to consider. Advocate for yourself.
I was about to say, advocate for yourself.
To your body.
100%.
Advocate for yourself.
There you go.
Thank you.
But yeah, like, that was the health stuff and all that background. Super interesting stuff. Check out your documentary.
Yes.
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Video.
Well, you have to have
Not even sponsored.
Prime.
We're not sponsored.
Yet.
Yeah. Shout out, Rachel.
Sorry.
But I know you said you came from Colorado. You're in North Carolina now, our state. Whoop whoop. But
I'm actually from Virginia, so it's not.
wow.
Sorry.
Okay. Wow, this is a little awkward now.
Sorry.
But do you think you moved in middle school, right before you started high school?
Yes.
Do you think moving from out of state to a new state kind of made you who you are today? Do you think if you stayed in Colorado, you'd be a different type of girl, different type of person?
I think so, for sure. I think everything we go through, especially the really, really hard things, make you who you are today in a positive way, you know? But I think moving, I was really, really shy.
Yeah.
I think during that time, when you're an adolescent, you focus, your main priority is social, you know, friends, things like that, you know? Yeah, you want to fit in. And I had a really hard time, you know, adjusting to the culture here and making friends and even, you know, playing soccer. That did help me in the long run because I met my best friend Melissa, who then shout out Melissa. She's the best. Transferred to schools she went to, and met all my friends who I still am friends with today. So I had like the hardest first year, and you know, I had to transfer schools because the school I was at was awful and was getting bullied, but then it all worked out. So, you know, and that opened me up. I became more social, which I was super shy again. Like, I was scared to like talk to anyone. So I think definitely helped me open up. become a lot more adaptable and resilient. So by the time I came for college, I was like, hey, I'm ready to go. You know, it was really easy for me to like open up and meet people then. Whereas a lot of my friends like had a hard time doing so, I'm sure. So.
Well, I feel like me and you, personally, like me and Mike, we didn't really open up until college. I mean, even then, we still didn't like open up too crazy. But I feel like being away from home and being like away from something you know, which was Colorado for you, Raleigh, Apex, Cary for us. Yeah. Just living on our own. Like I used to be a homebody. I was kind of like, oh, it's kind of fucking nice. Like I'm out here by myself. I'm with my friends. We're all chilling. Like it just opens up a new perspective. Like in the moment, it may seem like a lot. But years down the road, you're like, oh, this played such a pivotal role.
Oh my gosh.
In who I am today.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I remember Zach Kennedy.
Oh, yeah. Shout out Zach.
Shout out Zach. Listening. But he, sophomore year, like this, after sophomore year, before sophomore year, he moved to Tennessee.
I think it was freshman year, right? Because I had freshman year home room, and then he just vanished.
Yeah, so that's what happened. So after freshman year of high school, he was like, neighborhood best friend, and then he moved to he moved to Tennessee. And like he said, like he cried all the way there. Like he didn't want, because like you have all your roots, you know, like you do. But it's like it all ends up working out. Like you don't have any choice, so it's like you kind of have to. But like you know, he was able to figure out, and like
he's loving it right
now. Yeah, he's getting married and all that. But it's like just like you're able to like strive and conquer, you know, because like that's like a huge like high school. Like it's already hard enough as it is, like being where you are, but then like transitioning to like something you like a foreign place that you're not used to. It's crazy.
I was not used to like all the preppy things here.
Preppy, really?
Yeah, like
you get a wide variety here. I feel.
I was wearing like Vans, you know, like I went for like the skater look in middle school, and then I came here. Everyone was wearing like Lily Pulitzer, Sperry's, like bow ties. I'm like,
you live on the rich side, then.
Rich side.
That was that was.
You wear boots,
camo
and jeans,
camo,
everything.
Yeah. Whew, that was rough.
It makes you who you are, though.
You made it out alive, you know, you did good.
I'm here. I'm still alive and well.
But it's just crazy how, like, those like, something, or what I was going to say is, like, we've wanted to take a risk, you know?
Yes, that's what
we've wanted to start something. That's why I love this podcast. We wanted to start a business. Like,
love.
But it's just crazy how, like, we're so hesitant to make a change because of the what if. Like, my job, I freaking hate it. I want a new position, but I'm like, I'm scared to make a change. I'm scared to start at a new company. I've been with this company since I graduated. But it's like, end of the day, you make this jump, kind of like you did, even though it was forced. Like, 2-3 years down the road, you'd be like, okay. In the moment, it may be tough. But it's just crazy how, like, if you're willing to make that jump, be uncomfortable for a little bit. I've always said in my interviews, and in my job, you have to be uncomfortable to grow. If you stay doing the same thing, you're not making any progress. You're not learning anything new. You have to make yourself uncomfortable, and it helps you grow as a person. It's just interesting how we all kind of limit ourselves when we really could.
The only thing that is consistent is change.
Bars.
Yep.
If you want a t-shirt of that, let us know.
Y'all can't do that. Oh, whatever.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
But I know you said it's a little preppy here. And we've had talks ourselves. And I love North Carolina, but also would love something new. Where besides North Carolina do you think you would want to go? I know mine's Tennessee, maybe.
Yeah, I think Tennessee.
I think super, like, good medium. But it's like, there any other place besides Tennessee?
I would love to maybe go back to Colorado maybe one day, but it's really expensive there. I would love to try, like, Utah, Montana.
Out west.
Shout out Macy.
I do.
Shout out Macy.
Yeah, I do love out west.
Would it be like Chattanooga?
Somewhere, yeah. I think more towards like the North Carolina side.
That would be cool. I love Charleston too. I love Charleston.
It's just that's how money can decide where you go. Like Charleston's expensive.
Right.
It's all expensive.
Texas, you can get a freaking 7-bedroom mansion for like $300,000, whereas here our house right now is probably like $400K.
Yeah.
Small shit.
For the same shit. It's just crazy how like where you choose to live can decide what you get. So it's like interesting, and I think that drives a lot of people's decisions too. Kind of like your dad, he went for work, the best opportunity. You're doing it for the opportunity, not what you truly want to do.
Exactly.
Like, all I know is North Carolina. I've never been out of the country. I would love to get a culture shock, and I've always said it.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to go to, like, Europe or Asia and just see a completely different culture.
But like for like 3 months or something crazy. I feel like you really get like the experience.
Because I'm an American, first world country. Like, I do not know any damn thing about like struggle or like just another way of life. I think that would be a super eye-opening experience as well.
Yeah, if you would have asked you to leave the country like 10 years ago, like if someone asked you, you'd be like, fuck no. Yeah. Fuck, I need to go out there for.
But you get wiser and you learn a lot and you see a lot of people, and it makes you like, the world we live in is so beautiful. There's a lot of negativity around, but it's like,
why not go see it around?
Go see it, you know. Even just America in general. So many cool things you can do.
Yeah.
But I think there's so many opportunities out there.
Yeah, I was just telling you today how life is so short, especially in the profession I see. Like, your life can get changed in like an instant.
Yeah. We have people our age, right?
Yeah, I
that
have
are
like
sick.
20-year-olds, and it's like, what? Like, that's not supposed to be happening at that age. Yeah, like it makes you just think and put things in perspective. And you know, a lot of people, by the time they're about to retire, for example, they like save all this money, and then they want to go travel, and then something crazy like happens. And so just like go travel now. Like, go, I think my grandparents were saying they wish they traveled when they were younger more. Like, it sucks like spending the money on it now, but the money will always come back.
And like we said earlier, wealth,
memories live forever.
But everyone chose love and health.
Exactly.
Memories are priceless.
Yeah.
Just spend all your money on travel.
Financially smart, spend it, but spend it.
Yeah.
It's there. You can't take it with you when you go.
That's the thing about having like PTO. It's like you can't just blow it all.
Yes, PTO.
So it's like you can't do that all the time, but it's like like I said, benefit of PTO that you save money because you just be blowing if you win all the time.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think, and I know half your family is like in Colorado, do you think, or is it hard being away from your family? Like missing them, you can't just...
Nah! Sorry, no.
Sorry. Like for me...
Oh, it wasn't for me. No,
like
I'm just kidding.
I can drive 10 minutes down the road and see my mom. I can drive 10 minutes down the road, see my grandma, like, not flexing or nothing.
Wow.
But it's like, is that hard? Like, you might cry because it's, like, sad, but, like, how hard is that to not have your family, like, right down the street?
It's so hard. Like, oh, God, I'm gonna get it. It's so hard. I think, like you said, I would love to go, like, have dinner. And my mom, oh, my God, her cooking. I would love to go just have dinner, see my grandma. My
she made a mean quiche. Quiche,
tuna casserole, like
is that the yellow looking thing?
It's like a breakfast casserole.
It's a
Shout out Janae. Send us the recipe.
Janae, queen. She makes like the best food, like ever. But yeah, I definitely do miss that, and I think one of my patients too told me like, where like. Your mom's in Colorado, like, you need to go there right now. Because she starts crying, like, telling me how life is so short, you need to, like, spend it with your family and the ones you love. And I'm like, I know, and that's why it's hard. So I think it's definitely, like, a hard situation. But yeah, I mean, I go and visit as much as I can, vice versa, too. So it's hard. It's about finding balance. But, yeah, I mean...
Be nice to go more than once a year.
Yeah.
Let's the guy, my sister Macy. She's like, she's almost 30, and she lives in like not like shout out her age or anything, but she like lives in Salt Lake City. Yeah. So it's like, I mean, I see her like once a year, whatever, and it's like
so weird. Isn't it?
Like for me, it's like okay, I'm like used to it, but it's like
but
my mom, it's like she gets so emotional every time she sees her compared to like, I mean, I see my mom like maybe a couple times a month, like nothing crazy, but like still like consistently. But it's like seeing like your kid like once a year is probably just like crazy. And it's like there's like that debate though. It's like you're being selfish but selfless at the same time. It's like you're holding yourself back. I know you talk about it all the time. It's like you want to go like
you have a life to live.
You have a life to live, and like obviously like those people want you to succeed and have a good life too. So it's like that like bond, you have a connection, but it's also like you gotta live your life. So they can't hate you for that.
Yeah. No, totally. I think it's also. you feel grateful because you have those people that make saying goodbye like so hard, and those times that you are together, it's really, really special, and you really
remember it every time.
Yeah, you definitely cherish those times. But yeah, I wish they were closer for sure. But it is, you just make it.
Well, we've talked about it, you know, like I think, as a couple want to experience like a new state and move somewhere else and just experience like a new, just like environment. But I've told you, like my grandma being 86, my mom has her own health issues. Like my sister can help, my cousins can help, but it's like I'm such a big help, so I would hate to leave them without help.
Yeah.
So it's also like holding me back. But again, alluding to what you said, like it's not selfish to want to go move somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I know end of the day they would support me in everything I do.
Yeah.
But it's also like I also feel shitty to like go move 12 hours away
Exactly.
when my grandma needs, you know, the lawn cut or something fixed.
Yeah.
'Cause, like she needs my help and I love helping her, but it's like I have my own life. I need to go experience it. And I know she would want that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's about balance.
End of the day, it is.
Balance for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Hard decisions.
Always is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see a question on here.
Oh, no.
What's your max bench?
We really gotta go there right now.
The
Gym
gym
225.
Gym
That's pretty
gym
good.
closes at 11. We got time.
Oh, okay.
We got time to go over it.
We'll be right back.
But
You
yeah,
know it?
It's not. Why?
Do you know your max bench?
I'm not
Does
gonna
she?
say it on here. It's not 225.
Oh, it's more?
We're like, damn.
Stop.
Yeah.
Don't I thought you weren't gonna embarrass me.
I ain't
on
gonna
here.
embarrass you. It's
Okay.
225 apparently. But we like to end. I think we covered so much and like super interesting stuff. What's just something positive you want to leave like the listeners with before you leave
Yeah, something positive.
today?
I think just enjoy life. Like, try and pick out something out of your day that just makes you happy or smile, and just live every day to the fullest, to the best you can. And you're doing amazing. If you're in a hard spot right now, everything will work out. Everything will be okay. You're crushing it. And I'm always here to talk. If you want to slide in my DMs, anyone.
Whoa.
Okay,
Whoa.
something like that.
I'll let you
But
have
for
that
just
after
some,
the
like,
podcast.
some encouragement, you know? But yeah, just stay positive the best you can. I know it's hard sometimes, but yeah, just keep pushing through.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What do you gotta say?
I would say to all the women out there, you know, happy International Women's Day.
Yes.
All you queens,
Queens.
everything you do. You know, appreciate you have coming on, Bree. You know, it's
Thank
cool
you for
getting
having me, you
different
guys.
perspectives and everything.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. Like we had like Samantha on who like had like the health issues and like went through like that side as like a patient, and then like having you on who's like the other side.
Right.
It's very cool to like kind of
Very
gain
cool.
that knowledge because like all the stuff you talk about like half of it like never like really thought about. So it was really
Right.
cool. But yeah, just happy International Women's Day and keep an open mind. I say.
Yes.
Definitely. In mine, I would have to say, and then it's kind of hypocritical too, but like,
Cut it.
and I'm doing it now. I'm making a change or trying to actively make a change.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you want to do. Don't let anybody hold you back. Family members, if they're kind of having some issues, just do what you want to do. You have one life.
Mm-hmm.
Pursue it. Do what makes you happy. Fuck your job if it's not making you happy. That should not control your life.
Valid.
Love life. You're your own person. Do whatever you want.
Life is too short.
Too short.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we'll all realize that probably when we're 60 years old.
Yeah.
We'll have regrets. Everyone will. But try to limit those.
Try to limit regrets. That's valid, honestly.
It is. Live with no regrets.
Yeah.
Easier said than done. But generic, episode 8 with Briana Cummings.
As we always say, we're not good at closing.
We are not good at closing.
I think that's our closing. It's like saying we're not good at
Yeah.
closing.
Thank you guys
So
so
are
much
we
for
good at
having
closing?
me.
Thank you, Brianna, for coming on.
Thank you. I'm so honored. I love you guys.
Bye.
Peace.